Let's crack Windows passwords. This is a system with multiple Windows users. If I show you in the control panel, the users, you'll see this system has several users, so some administrator users and regular users. And what we can do is crack the passwords of those users so that we have complete access into the computer. So administrator access and all access to all accounts. We can do so using a program called Mimikatz. So if you open your web browser and you search for Mimikatz, you'll find you're able to download Mimikatz. So I will click this one, and you'll see there's a 32-bit and a 64-bit version. So you can download it from this link here. So you'll see you're able to download the Mimikatz program. You'll see mimikatz.zip here. So download that, you have the program. I had already downloaded it, so I have it here. Mimikatz is also included in Kali Linux, so you can also copy it over from Kali Linux. Important is that you have basic access into the Windows computer, and then you can get more access using Mimikatz. So I will start the Mimikatz program. You'll see it's a command line program, and we need to type some commands in here. So first I'll type privilege : debug. It should return OK. And we'll type token elevate. So that are the first two commands to type. Then we'll use the LSA dump module, and we'll try to get the SAM entry. So we'll do so using LSA dump : SAM, and there we go. Now we have a list of users. So you'll see several users here: administrator, IE user, user SSHD server, and user Bob. And all of these users have a password. However, as you see, the password is in an encoded format, a hashed format called the NTLM hash. So hashing is a process where you have a regular input and you convert it to some unreadable output. For example, if I search for NTLM hash, so NTLM hash generator, you'll see we can type anything, for example password, and Windows would store it like this, right? And it's hard to go from this back to the original password. So we can type any password, and you'll see Windows stores it in this format. So now we have the passwords, but they're in this hash or NTLM hash format. What you can do next is to crack those hashes. One of the websites where you can do that is crackstation.net. And in there you can paste your password hash. So select it with your mouse. Make sure to select it without spaces. Then press the enter key to copy. We'll paste it in and click crack hashes. And there we go. We got the password for the user IE user. So now we cracked one of the passwords of the system. Now let's take another one. Let's take the last one, select it, press enter, paste it in Crackstation. So that's crackstation.net, and click crack hashes. And you'll see we also got that password now. So given all these hashes, we can crack them using crackstation.net. You can also use John the Ripper on Kali Linux to do that, which is a bit more cumbersome than just pasting in the NTLM hash. So as I mentioned, it's easy to go from a password into this NTLM hash, which is how Windows stores it, but it's hard to go back. So you can use Crackstation or Kali Linux to revert that, and Crackstation is obviously the most easy because all you need to do is to paste in the password. For example, let's say our password is welcome. So Windows would store this NTLM hash, Then inside the CrackStation website, we'll paste that hash, click crack hash, and you'll see it cracked the hash. And so that's how it stores hashes. So in that NTLM hash format, so in this format. And the way it does this cracking is by having a huge database. So it has a huge database here of 119 gigabytes, so 15 billion lookup table. So what it basically did in this website behind the scenes is it used a dictionary of 15 billion passwords and calculated the hash for all of them. So for commonly used passwords. And then using those hashes, it's able to retrieve the original passwords. Because obviously you cannot guess the password using this kind of hashing. But it's easy to create a list of hashes, right? So let's say you can create your own list. So one hash would be one hash for each of them, right? So the first hash, the second hash, and so on. And what you would get is a so-called rainbow table. And so a rainbow table is simply a list of words with their hashes. So in this case, it uses MD5 hashes instead of NTLM. So this is for another computer system. But the NTLM hash, you would have a list of regular passwords and NTLM hashes, and then just the program would just look in that table for the original password. So it does that behind the scenes in CrackStation with a list of 15 billion passwords.